Morning, guys. Hope you're doing well today. We are currently looking for the remote to turn the music down, but oh well. Maybe it's meant to be heard. Um, we are going to talk about compassion today. So, if you watched my video on forgiveness or forgive, the way I work with words is I break them down into their smaller words. This is something I've done recently to give myself a different context of the word, especially if it's a word that I don't want to say difficult, but complex, for lack of a better word. Wow, my hair is just wild today. Sorry, guys. So, like the word forgive, it's very complex, right? It means different things to different people. And I think compassion is much the same way. So, people say, have compassion, empathy. These are big spiritual type words, but they're also words that are they don't have to be spiritual. They're just qualities, or I don't want to say like forgive is something you do, right? But it's I hesitate to call it an emotion, but it might be, because I've recently discovered that there are like 5 pages of words that describes emotions, and I probably thought there was, I don't know, maybe 20. So anyway, I digress. The word compassion is where we're at today. So compassion, if you're not new to the channel, then you know the first thing we do is look up the dictionary definition of the word. So the dictionary definition of compassion is sympathetic consciousness of others' distress together with a desire to alleviate it. Okay, so consciousness. It's actually underlined to look that up, so let me do that just because I want to really get this right. The quality or state of being aware, especially of something within oneself. The state or fact of being conscious to an external object, state, or fact. It's an awareness. Okay, so we're all big boys and girls here, so we know what aware is, right? Which is it's actually a word we're going to do soon. Yeah, anyway. So sympathetic consciousness. So sympathetic versus empathetic. This was something that took me a little while to understand. Empathy is putting yourself in that person's shoes and feeling that feeling. And that is done via looking at a memory or a time that you felt that way, and literally like putting yourself back into that time and then attempting to help that person. You can actually get empathy exhaustion. I did not, or compassion exhaustion, or compassion tired. I don't know. There's a word for it. I literally just heard that this morning. Anyway, that's a different thing altogether. But that's empathy, right? So sympathy would be understanding it, and maybe you don't have a reference point, right? So you're not able to get to that empathy level with it. For example, I can sympathize with a man having to, I don't know, do manly things, things that I don't do. But I can't empathize with it because I've never experienced it. So maybe that's the difference, right? So sympathy is similar, empathy is having experienced it. So maybe think about it that way. At any rate, so compassion is that sympathetic consciousness. So you're not bringing it in. You're not owning it. You're not remembering a time when you experienced it, okay? Of others' distress. Now it's usually when someone is going through something negative, right? Distressful, hard. Hard's kind of a small word for that, but something painful maybe. and then wanting to help them. Now it says wanting with a desire to alleviate it. So it just says it. It doesn't say alleviate the thing that's making them feel that way, or is it the feeling itself that you're wanting to alleviate? I guess that could be left up to interpretation. He felt compassion for the lost child. She shows compassion to the sick. She had the compassion to offer help when it was needed most. There's actually, which I love the fact that it only has one definition, because if you're not new to the channel, then you know that usually I go through about 9 different definitions and I have to find the one that I like the best. But in this case, there's just one, so it's a sympathetic awareness or consciousness of others' distress together with a desire to alleviate it. So if we break it down logically, it's not feeling their feelings, it's understanding their feelings and having a desire to help them feel better, either by fixing the problem or fixing the feeling. Either way, it doesn't matter, because the feeling is really all that matters, right? So the thing with compassion is there's another word within that word, and that would be compass. So we're going to look up compass. I mean, I think most of you probably know what a compass is, but again, that's what we do on this channel. And of course, we've got several definitions, but okay. So compass, to devise or contrive, often with craft or skill. A person who may have compassed my destruction. I guess that would be like to encompass or compass, right? I'm actually thinking of not the verb part, the noun. So let me look up the noun. A curved or roundabout course. Interesting. A device for determining directions by means of a magnetic needle or group of needles turning freely on a pivoting point to the magnetic north. So this is actually the definition that I'm going to focus on today. My mother used to tell my son, and I didn't know this until I think he told me this after she passed away. But apparently, from what I understand, my mother always told him to find his true north. And I thought that's a weird thing. I had never heard her say that before in my life. And I gotta admit, I was a little jealous, like, she's giving you life advice and she couldn't. But anyway, see how we internalize things. At any rate, she told him to find his true north. And if you think about compass, right? When you use a compass, what's the first thing you do? The needle is always looking for that true north, right? And you move the compass and you see that your direction, maybe you need to go east or west, maybe you need to go south, but the needle on the compass is always pointing at north, magnetically, right? If you use compassion, then you remember that there's a compass in there, then maybe you remember that you're the needle, right? Or you're the north, either way. You're the needle or the north. I don't know, you're the chicken or the egg. Anyway, if we take the idea that you are the needle and you are meant to go on your path forward, you're going to get off track a little bit when you show compassion. But don't forget where you're going. Don't forget your path. Don't get so bogged down with helping someone else empathetically as opposed to sympathetically, helping them alleviate their distress by fixing things for them or offering advice or just whatever. They have to find their true north too, right? And they have a needle pulling them in their direction. And that direction might not be the same as your direction. In a compass, true north is true north. It's a tangible item. And it is, what is the word I want to say? I'm going to keep talking until I think of the word because I don't like silence on the channel, but it is, oh my gosh, what do they call that? Like when you turn the scale back to zero. I can't think of it. Calibrate. It is calibrated to the frequency of the earth. So that needle is pointing north for the earth. Everybody on the planet lives on the earth, so it will be the same for everybody here. But when we think about, if we thought of ourselves as a planet, if you will, our compass, our true north is very likely not the same as the person sitting next to us. At times they may line up, and it might only be for a little while, because the beauty of our compass is it's constantly changing, right? As we grow, as we evolve, our true north moves. It just does. It's kind of like the planets going around the sun, right? I mean, sometimes you know, I don't know, sometimes Venus is in Taurus, sometimes it's in Libra, sometimes it's in Pisces, sometimes it's in Cancer, sometimes it's in Virgo. You just never know, because it's on a path, right? And at different times throughout its, I can't think of that word now either, along its path of moving around the solar system, its true north would be different at each stage, right? And so we're much the same way. So I guess when you think about having compassion for another human, if you think about the compass, if you can at least make that connection in your subconscious and remember that it's similar and not exact, right? Sympathy, not empathy. Then you can desire to alleviate their distress, and you can understand or make an attempt to understand what it is that they're going through. But it doesn't mean that at no point in any of those definitions did it say to alleviate it. It said a desire to alleviate it. Alleviating it for them is kind of, well, it's mean in a way, because you're taking away their knowledge, their growth, right? But a desire to alleviate it, at least they know someone wants to fix it. Maybe they don't want your help. Maybe they just want somebody to listen. Maybe they just need somebody to listen. Maybe they don't need anything at all. Maybe it's just a matter of patting them on the back and letting them know this too shall pass, right? I actually asked my therapist, again, as many of you may or may not know, I'm a recovering codependent. So, somebody's in trouble. My compassion is, how can I fix the problem that's making them feel this way? And I would figure it out this all happens within seconds, by the way. You get an idea of how to fix it and you just do it. Like, just make it go away. Just make it go away. I can't handle this person not being happy. And it might not even be the way might not even be the solution that was needed. It doesn't matter, because I would run in and do it anyway. What I have learned through therapy and I don't know, all kinds of books and videos, and I don't know, pick a modality that I haven't used to try to improve myself here. That came out wrong. The modalities that I have used to understand myself. At any rate, I asked the therapist, I said, okay, so what are you supposed to do? Like, somebody comes to you with a problem and they're upset and they're screaming and they're crying and they're having an anxiety attack. Like, what do you do? And she said, it's simple. And I go, seriously? Like, if it was simple, wouldn't I already know? She goes, you just ask how you can help. And I go, it can't be that easy. She goes, try it. So I challenge you guys to try it, Show that compassion, show the desire to alleviate it, which is literally, how can I help? And don't get so far off of your true north that you forget where your true north is. Always remember your true north, your path. What is it you're here to do? because they're on a path too. So a little bit of food for thought, planting some seeds. What do you guys think compassion is? What do you think a compass is? What do you think true north is? You know, these are all things that have kind of been on my mind today. And I thought I'd share them with you. So drop some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. At the very least, give yourself a few minutes to think about it. Go down a rabbit hole. Don't go down my rabbit hole. Go down your own. And see what you come up with. And see if you can't show compassion in the truest sense of the word, as opposed to what you think it means. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget, grow your words and taste your language. Bye for now.